Ming is one of the most unique playstyles in Europa Universalis 4 due to the Mandate of Heaven mechanics, and with Europa Universalis 5 around the corner, it's time that I do my final campaign as Ming, and unlike other campaigns in this one, we're basically going to be playing Toll, and with just the Ming starting provinces, by efficiently using our provinces and the tributary system, we're going to grow our dominion over the entirety of Asia, and despite not growing too much in size itself, we're going to be insanely rich and ridiculously powerful. Now, seeing as this is my final campaign as Ming, I'm going to be explaining things a little bit more in detail as I go along, and when we get 3,000 likes on this video, I'm going to be releasing the second of 3 parts of the campaign. We're going to divide this into 3 major areas: the early, mid, and late game, because the playstyle is very different between early, mid, and late. With the early phase, basically we're trying to prevent the various disasters such as the domination of the eunuchs, the crisis of the Ming Dynasty, and unguarded nomadic frontiers, all of which are looming. And if we don't properly play it, what's gonna happen is we're gonna lose very easily, because despite Ming starting as the world's greatest superpower with 1,100 development, due to the mechanics it has, and because of the Mandate of Heaven, we could literally disintegrate into dozens of smaller states that will be warring towards becoming the new empire of China. That means that unlike most nations, we have to properly manage the interior of the country and minimize the amount of wars and minimize the amount of exterior interaction, so to say, right? That being said, in the first part, I will be expanding a little bit into Tibet and the northern parts just to get the China borders. That's kind of the only borders I want to have for the whole campaign as China. We might get some colonies too, but that's aside from the point. We just want to have Chinese borders, as in, you know, historical Chinese borders, and the rest of Asia we're going to turn into tributaries, because the more tributaries we have, the better it is for us to get more mandate growth alongside the variety of different bonuses from the tributaries themselves. And speaking of, the first thing I will be doing, I'll be switching up and I'll be demanding manpower as my tribute from my tributaries for the first year, and then we'll change this as we go along afterwards. Whenever it's possible, I'm also going to be demanding admin power as a tribute from nations that have the ability to give me that. If the targeted nation doesn't have enough development, you'll not be able to get the power tribute, so keep that in mind. It's based off of the targeted nation's development. Now, before anything else, of course, we're gonna get our rivals, the mighty Ashikaga rivals in Japan. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Empire China mechanics, and pay close attention, because this really will make or break your game in EU4. There's 2 major stats here we need to account for: the mandate, the amount of mandate that we have, and the meritocracy. Mandate you gain from stability, tributary, having prosperity in your provinces, the Forbidden City monument, and there's a few other ways that we can gain mandate that we'll talk about later. However, losing mandate, there's a lot of ways. Devastation, not having the holy city of Canton, Beijing, and Nanjing. Losing these 3 cities will massively lower and deplete our mandate. Above 50 mandate will give us some bonuses, including national unrest and estate loyalty, which is not amazing, but better than nothing. However, below 50 mandate means that we will lose pretty much half of our manpower pool, mercenary manpower pool. Units will be insanely easy to defeat, because our units will take 50% more fire and shock damage, and we produce 50% less goods, so that means our economy is going to be completely dead. We want to make sure we stay above 50 mandate at all times. However, what do we use the mandate for? We use the mandate to enact celestial reforms. One reform costs us 1 stability and 70 mandate to enact, so we want to enact them whenever we reach 100 mandate. That way we go down to 30 mandate, so between 30 and 50, it's not as bad as between 0 and 50, right? Basically, it's easier for us to get rid of all the negative modifiers once we go down to 30. So reform wise, we only will be reforming whenever we reach 100 mandate for the rest of the campaign. Meritocracy is another mechanic that we have that allows us to enact decrees. It costs 20 meritocracy to enact decrees, and there's a lot of them, and I really mean a lot of them. Aside from that, it also increases our reform progress growth, spy detection, and advisor costs, so we get cheaper advisors. Honestly, most of the really good decrees are at the bottom, so make sure you scroll down. The initial ones might seem like the better ones, but that's not true, because you can get minimum autonomy -5 flat and autonomy cost -0.05, as well as monarch lifespan increase +25. So if if you have a good monarch, increasing the lifespan is a huge deal. Separatism reduction and religious harmonization speed, liberty, desire, and subjects, and national unrest, etc. There's really a lot of great ones. I'm gonna go for the mandate growth plus 0.05 and loyalty for the estates because we want to get this up to 100 ASAP right now. Estates are very unique for most nations because we have the eunuchs, which are very dominant in our country. Almost 60% of our crown lands is owned by the eunuchs. They might have some really good privileges, but the reality is that it's very misleading since almost all the privileges also increase your corruption. And in general, you just want to make sure you give as few privileges to the eunuchs and you take as much of their power as possible. Early on, it could be worth it giving some of these out, but as you progress and into the mid to late game, you want to get rid of the eunuchs as fast as you can. That being said, check this out, 59% national tax modifier, and in return, we just get yearly inflation reduction. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to give that out. That is actually crazy, dude. That literally gave us 20 ducats without doing anything. We just gave a privilege for 20 ducats. Holy mother. We don't really start with too much crown lands, and it is a little bit more difficult to gain crown lands from expansion as Qing, because we're not going to be expanding too much. So we will be seizing the crown lands, but that means we end up with 20% crown lands. So unlike most nations, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give the +1 power privileges yet. I'll start giving these out once we have 30% slowly as we progress, because remember, we're not expanding too much, so mana is not going to be as much of an issue as it would be for most nations. So we can give the holy trilogy of clerical education, court positions, and economic freedom for the burghers, as well as of course the national tax plus 10% privilege. We want to give out the advisor cost reduction for all 3 of the estates, but we'll do that after we get 1 stability, because remember, each of these privileges increase the stability cost by 10%. Patronage of the arts is not bad. We end up with 65 almost prestige, which is pretty decent. Increased levies does nothing because we don't have any percentage of the lands owned by the nobility. So like I said, it is a very different estate also compared to most nations. We can give supremacy over the crown, why not? And very important, giving out the clerical ministers because we need that increase in harmony. Harmony is a part of our religious mechanics. We gain a certain amount of harmony per year, and we have the ability to harmonize with other religions as long as we have at least, I believe there was 20 development of that particular religion, if I'm not mistaken. Harmonizing with other religions means that we get unique bonuses, and you can literally harmonize with all the religions in the world, and basically they don't take up any religious unity. We're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it a little bit later once we're closer to high harmony. We don't want to go to low harmony because that's gonna give us corruption, lower the meritocracy, and the stability cost is gonna increase too. Take note also, converting provinces will decrease harmony as well based on the amount of development, so I highly recommend not converting provinces also. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. Getting an advisor is going to give us minus 0.05 corruption. Hails to the yeah. Before we continue also, we need to get religious diplomats just because of the diplomatic reputation, and we're going to be assigning our diplomats to improve relations with our subject nations. We're going to leave one aside because we do have to have a war against the Oirats at the start of the campaign, so we're going to be sending over all of our units by the border with the Oirats, as well as we're going to be assigning our ships to protect trade in Beijing. And when it comes to the advisors, these are also very important. The higher the level of your advisor, the more meritocracy you gain. So having a level 5 advisor means you get 1.25 meritocracy from that advisor alone. So potentially you could get 3.75 meritocracy just from the advisors if they're all level 5. We also start with another extremely bad modifier, the administrative overextension, which increases the minimum autonomy plus 25 in our provinces. And in order to lower that, we need to reform the administration. We need to have 50% land owned by the crown, loyalty for the eunuchs at 70 or greater, 100 government reform progress, and 1 stability. That will lower that negative modifier by 5, so we have to do this 5 times to get rid of it completely, and it takes 2 stability every time we do it too. I'm also going to be making my leader and my heir generals. The reason for that is because there is an event once we attack the Oirats that will already make them into generals, so by doing this, we make sure we get slightly better generals. But that being said, we want to make sure both our leader and our heir do not command any armies, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds why. The hygiene policy of Great Ming, we just got the revelation of the branching missions. We have the option of improving the hygiene policy, which will give until the end of the game governing cost and provincial trade power, which is actually pretty good. Or the second option is repel it. We get trade efficiency and institution spread. So I'm a little bit torn between these two. Not sure which one to go for yet. I'll wait for a bit. We're not going to end up doing this mission anytime soon, so let me know in the comment section in the second part which one of these options do you want me to go for. And yes, the Ming do have an absolutely massive and extremely enjoyable mission tree actually. First, we need to handle the Tumu crisis, which is why we are attacking the Oirats. We do that by either making them a tributary or lowering the amount of development they have to below 75. Some other missions are easy to do as well, such as this, where we either have to conquer the northern parts of Vietnam or make sure they are loyal and have high opinion of us. So actually what I could do is I can send one of these diplomats to improve relations with Dai Viet instead. I'm going to be attacking the Mongols day one, and I'll be forcing tributary status on them. I'm also going to recruit a general for my main army, and I'll make sure that is the only general that we have, as well as we'll ensure that our heir and leader do not become generals on any of these armies, because there is an event that can trigger if our army loses a battle against an Oirat army, and that army of ours is led by our heir or our leader, then we get the Tumu crisis. Historically, this actually happened on the 1st of September 1449, when the Emperor of Ming was captured by Esen Taishi, the leader of the Mongols, the Oirat Mongols better yet. And as you would imagine, the Emperor getting captured was no bueno for the Ming. It was one of the first steps towards the fall of the Ming dynasty as we know it today. So we're going to be pushing straight for the capital, and the rest of the army, we're going to be carpet sieging their provinces and taking out their armies whenever we see them. The eunuchs of the Ming dynasty, we have two options. Either we curb the power of the eunuchs, or we choose to not risk their ire. This might seem like the better option because you just get one corruption and you get one stability, but the reality is it does affect a pretty vital mission, cornerstone of empire, and by going down the curb path, we also get 20% advisor cost reduction from expanding Palin's bureaucracy decree. So I kind of like to curb their power. It's also a little bit easier to do this mission by curbing their power. Now we just got to make sure we bring up our stability, because this is just no bueno. As the Chinese, we also have a unique naval doctrine, the Chinese Treasure Fleet, which increases our colonial range, trade range, and treasure fleet incoming from the New World. I am, however, going to go for the Merchant Navy for the extra ship trade power. We might switch over to that doctrine once we actually have colonies though. National fragmentation, increase centralization efforts, or leave it as is. We really don't want to lose that stability. It does suck though, because getting loans means that we lose mandate. The enemy capital has fallen, as has the capital of Sarak Yogurt, so we can peace out Sour Yogurt here. We do get a lot of mandate specific events such as this here, where we could actually get 5 mandate and increase the Shambang as state loyalty, which obviously is a no-brainer. Always go for the option that gives you mandate over anything else. Hey, we got the 150 relations with the Vietnamese, so we got 10 mandate, which means, oh, actually I should have waited. Oh no, this is stupid. Oh, this is bad. I could have just gone for the reform, and then I could have gotten the 10 mandate. I would have been up to 36. Oh, this is so dumb. I'm obviously not going to do any of the reforms until I am at peace, because otherwise we would be losing this war very fast. Alright, it's time to fully annex Sour Yogurt. Boom, shakalaka, arrivederci. Now we also do not want to have too much overextension. It just never stops coming, does it? 1447 Yellow River flood. 10 mandate lost, 2 stability lost. Every province across the Yellow River with more than 15 development gets 30 devastation. So if we check our devastation map mode, it is not great. It's really not great. Oh my god, dude. So we're losing 0.16 mandate because of the devastation. Thank god I didn't do any celestial reforms yet, otherwise this would have been bad. You know, we actually could just peace out Oirats now. Instead of taking 3 provinces, we just take 2 of them and we make them a tributary. I feel like that might not be the worst idea actually. Yeah, screw it, let's do that. That way we can just focus on fixing our internal problems, which we have a lot of already. We are going to be bestowing some gifts on the Oirats, which means we can do the nomadic frontier mission. So that allows us to recruit banners for 25 years. The Oirats are also going to be insanely disloyal, so we will have to improve relations with them and just make sure we bring them back into the fold. Holy mother of god, we're at -3 stability. This is the worst thing ever. Oh, let's check our devastation. So devastation wise, 2 ways you can lower that. Either the provinces within the zone of control of a fort, which means it lowers 10 times faster, and that's why we're not going to bother with Xi'an, or we just develop the provinces. So in the case case of Shuju and Kaifeng, we have to develop the provinces, or we build a fortification that lowers the devastation. That's going to take a while. We will, in a few moments, build all the fortifications, so we'll talk about that in detail too. But until that happens, we do have to set up the Encourage Development Edict, and we're going to have to develop this provinces a few times. Same in this province too. Boom, and a couple more times, and we're done. No more devastation there. Shenzhen was also occupied, so it did get some devastation, but this again will lower by itself together with the adjacent provinces pretty early because of the fortification. I've also cycled a few times until I managed to get a inflation reduction advisor. That way, between the trader and the master of mint, we might get the radical reforms event trigger, which is going to give us 200 diplo and 200 admin. And now I've divided my armies in 3 different army groups: north, central, and south, and I will be making sure that they autonomously suppress rebels everywhere around them. That way, I don't need to manually handle any rebellions for the rest of the campaign, or at least until I switch over my army groups again. I do have a significant amount of high autonomy and quite a lot of provinces, so I'm going to be lowering the autonomy everywhere. This means I'm going to have a lot of rebels that we're going to have to defeat, but my armies are ready, and I still have high mandate because I didn't go for the reforms yet. I'm delaying it intentionally just to fix my country, basically. Now, if we check our fort map mode, we see what provinces are within the zone of control of a fortification. So since we have a little bit of extra money, we're going to restructure our forts around the country. We want to have forts that both have a lot of provinces within their zone of control, which will help with lowering devastation in those areas, but we also want to have forts in hills, highlands, mountains, or just in general provinces that are more difficult to take if we get attacked by someone. So easy example here, Shenyang might not be a bad idea, but if we build it over in Haicheng, the zone of control affects all of the provinces in this area, and it is basically the same provinces. They're both grasslands, which is why I'm going to replace the fort in Shenyang, delete it after the one in Haicheng has finished building. Luan might seem like a good option because it's a mountain fort, but if we build a fort in Ningwu, it affects all the provinces that Datong affects, plus it also affects Taiyuan, Luan, and Ordos, and the provinces that are not affected, namely Shuanghua, gets affected by the fort in Beijing. So deleting the one in Datong, building one in Ningwu is the better option here as well. Similarly, Yangzhou is a no-brainer because it just affects almost every single province in this area. Another one in Yuanling as well, and once we have money, we're going to build another in Poyang. I also want to apologize to my Chinese viewers for absolutely butchering the names. Yay, radical reforms. Okay, so guys, take note, if you ever get this event, it's because of the trader and the master of mint being recruited. Make sure you fire both of them, go for the admin and diplo power option, and then you can hire them back again, provided that you have the money to do so, of course. Apparently, I need more money to hire a Song Fang again. Maybe I can replace them with a production efficiency guy then. That also means we can get 1 stability because of the extra admin points that we had, so we basically don't need to worry about rebels anymore since we have -2 unrest overall now. Take note, because we did lower the autonomy, we still will get rebellions in the provinces where the autonomy was lowered, because that does give +10 unrest in those areas. Alright, I'm going to start harmonizing the Theravada religion, because not only do we get the advisor cost -10% till the end of the campaign, but we also will have the entirety of Southeast Asia as accepted religions afterwards, and that includes a lot of the southern provinces that we already own. By influencing Korea and having decent relations with them, we also can do the Kingdom of Joseon, so we get some trust towards them, and both of us get some prosperity, as well as they get 1 stability, but we get 5 mandates. So why did I do that? Because I'm going to do my first celestial reform. It is going to be dreadful, but it is required. So that means we're down to 28 and then 33 mandates. So for us to get up to 50, it's going to take a little bit of time, and it's going to be a little bit painful, but we only have +3 unrest, and I think it's doable. Also, whenever the mandate is below 50, we will start getting events that allow us to increase the mandate if we go for the right option. And that extra diplomat that we got from the celestial reform will really help out with improving more relations with our subjects now. Such as this one here, build a palace, increases our mandate by 500% worth it. And yes, I am drowning in rebellions right now, so we gotta really get above 50 mandate. Hurry up, please. This is not great. Oh no. So we're losing 1,100 ducats, which means we're going to be taking a few loans, and unfortunately, if we go take too many loans, we're going to start losing mandate because of that. So we need to make sure we pay off these loans ASAP. Okay, Now, this is just bad luck, like actually bad luck. 10 years have passed, so we can get another decree enacted. I am going to go for the religious harmonization speed plus 25% now, because remember, we are harmonizing right now the Theravadas. So making this 25% cheaper means we integrate them about 6 years faster, which is way better. I mean, harmonize them about 6 years faster. And I'm also getting claims on Cum because I will be directly owning all of Egypt. I don't want to have tributaries here. I want to have direct ownership. That way, I'm going to be able to make tributaries out of the Indian realms, which are way better as tributaries than the Tibetan kingdoms ever will be, since the Tibetan lands have very low development compared to the Indian parts, which will, as we progress, have insanely high development. So it's better to make them tributaries earlier rather than wait until later down the line when it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Alright, we also got the relations with our subjects in the north, namely with the Oirats. So we have 3 options. We can get 5 mandate, army professionalism, or a really insanely good general. I'm gonna go for the mandate. So we managed to accrue 100 reform progress. That means we can lower our minimum autonomy by 5, and that way we only have plus 20 minimum autonomy, which means we've gained a lot of money from our provinces. Look at that, we just increased in balance by 6 ducats from a simple click. Time for us to suck up all that Cum provinces, boys. Now, I wasn't intent on actually annexing Cradle as well, but Mogulistan attacked Cradle. So if I don't take the provinces, 100% Mogulistan's going to annex that, and I'd rather take it instead of having Mogulistan take it. Slowly but surely, we're starting to actually look like the Chinese nation, aren't we? And I am very much aware that we basically just lost 2 tributaries. So next step's going to be making Mogulistan a tributary. Let's see what alliances they have. They have Kazan, Afghanistan, Jaunpur. Okay, we're going to have to wait in that case at least until we grab Tsang too, so I have a bit of a closer distance between me and Jaunpur, because Jaunpur would make a very fine tributary actually. I'm also going to be making a very important step. I'm going to be disinheriting or abdicating, better yet, with my leader, so we get our heir in charge. He's a little bit better than 111, that's for sure. He's not amazing, but I'll take anything over the 111 dude. And I think we can go back to 0 stability, which is awesome. Now let's try and get a really great heir next. We're gonna be royal marrying everyone that we can. Okay, we got a consort. That is awesome. Also goes without saying, but you should always have your root out corruption at max slider throughout the entirety of the campaign, especially when playing as Ming. Actually, I just realized I didn't yeah, I've sorted out most of my issues internally. We can attack, and I think I could probably make Ladakh as well a tributary. Right now they are a tributary of Mogulistan, but I mean, I could just make him a vassal, right? So that would be a thing too, because I believe this is part of modern day China's borders. It might be the whole Kashmir thing, which means it's contested by India, Pakistan, and China in modern times, but in my game it's going to be ours. We just unlocked our first idea group, and there are some idea sets that seem like they're really great for us, such as the court ideas that will increase our mandate growth by 0.10, which is huge. However, we can get mandate from other ways. We don't need to stress about that too much. I think court ideas is not necessarily the best one. In exchange for that, we should go for humanist ideas, because that's going to increase our religious harmonization speed by 25%, and it also will increase our yearly harmony by 0.25. Plus, there's something else that happens once we finish humanist ideas. We're basically going to get a CB that is one of the most powerful CBs in the game. It's a little bit counterintuitive to go for an admin idea first, I know, trust me, but after we take the Tang provinces, we literally will not be expanding at all anymore. We're not going to have to admin up anything, because we're not going to have to core anything up for at least 50 years. So we're going to have enough admin points to fully go for all the ideas and humanist ideas and then some. I'm also going to be raising my banners. The banners are unique units that have 5% increased discipline, but are a little bit more difficult to reinforce, and you can only raise them from special provinces. So we're going to go ahead and raise as many as we can right now, which is just 7, because we're not going to be able to raise them afterwards anymore. We can only do so until 1472. One of the main issues we have right now is our low harmony, which affects a lot of things, and that's obviously because of us harmonizing Theravada. We've actually lowered the time until we finish harmonizing this by a lot, simply from events, but it still takes a really long ass time. It's really crazy to see how long it takes to harmonize religions. I actually would love to start harmonizing some of the New World religions, which is why I'm going to go for colonization ideas ideas as my second one, exploration ideas. And I know what you're thinking, why don't you go for exploration ideas as your first? To be honest, I might. I might just switch it up and go colonization, or better yet, exploration ideas and humanist ideas second, right? I don't know. Still on the fritz about it, to be honest, because I like both of them, and I'm not necessarily in a massive rush to go for the new world, but I still would like to get there at some point. Yes, the great peepee in the sky, guys. Every time I see the name Ladakh, I think of Le Duc. I think of a Frenchman that just goes saying, Le Duc, avec Le Duc is here. Actually, how do the French pronounce Ladakh? Do they just say Le Duc, or do they actually say Ladakh? That's the actual question now. I don't think anyone can answer that question. Even the French themselves, I don't think they can answer that. It's truly an impossible to answer question if you think about it. There we go. We just sniped a tributary from underneath Mogulistan's nose. Now see, this here is kind of messed up, because I would love the mandate, but I also want the religious harmonization. And honestly, in this particular situation, I think the religious harmonization is a little bit better, because check it out. We basically will finish this in this year. Holy schnitzel, boys. We've actually finished harmonizing a religion because of that. It only cost us 5 mandate, which is not the end of the world, because we still have 82 anyway. And heck, since we're here, we might as well go for humanist ideas. I guess that kind of decides whether we're going for colonization first or second, doesn't it? And now we're going to look a tiny bit more like actual modern China, aren't we? Slightly bit more. The cool part is we can do deal with the Karma Magagadu, which means we get an extra 5 mandate as consequence, and cavalry cost and flanking ability, which is pretty cool. We also can do Cornerstone of the Empire now, which means that from now on we get an extra 20% advisor cost reduction from expanding palace bureaucracy. There's a lot of other missions that we can do by simply improving the provinces, so that means developing a few provinces and making sure we don't have devastation. Similarly, getting a market and improving Canton as well, and over here basically have a little bit of extra development in Baoding, Yongping, and set our national focus to diplomatic would be the easiest way. So for the next few years, that's exactly what we're doing. No more expansion, focusing on doing all of these easy to enact missions and just try and reform the nation as much as possible. Take note also, because we gave the single whip law, it is amazing because you get all that extra tax, but it means you cannot take any land from the eunuchs. So we need to make sure we lower the influence of the eunuchs, because it's time to revoke this privilege so that we can go above 42% crown lands, which is the max we can get right now, unfortunately. That being said, we're not in a rush because we still will be giving the +1 mana privileges now. So as consequence, we end up with less crown lands and with more crown lands given out to the Shizu and Qinhuang, so we can still see some crown lands for the next few years. That is why I gave the single whip. It helps out a lot early on, and it's kind of not too difficult to revoke it as you progress in the campaign, to be fair. Also going to create a flagship which has trade power per ship and fleet, movement speed, and privateer efficiency, because we might actually do a little bit of privateering. Plus, I'm going to be spamming a lot of light ships so we can start sucking up trade from our neighboring trade nodes and filter it into ours. Well, if it isn't the Hosokawa shogunate, looks like they were the ones that managed to grab hold of Kyoto now. You know, I still remember the early days of EU4 when all of Ming and Japan had basically zero flavor. It was so bad playing in this area, as it was crazy bad. Okay, let's make sure we hold left control so we can select only the ships now. Seeing as we have a flagship now in our fleet, we use all the ships because all of them are going to be giving us a consequence a little bit of extra trade power, not just the light ships. And it seems like we are getting 5 more mandates, so I can go for the next reform since I'm already at 100 mandate. Yearly meritocracy might not be the worst idea, since right now we are a little bit starved of meritocracy because of the low harmony that we have. So I think we might have found a really great opportunity to attack Chagatai. Their ally Jampur is not going to help out, and they are at war with their former allies of Kazan. So heck yeah, man, I'm gonna go for this. We're gonna enforce tributary on Chagatai, and it should be fairly easy because from what I can tell, they've got about 11,000 units. I'm also gonna try and take a few provinces in the south, especially this gold mine. It's gonna come in massive handy. Speaking of, we have our own gold mine. Ming actually starts with its own gold mine in the south of the country. Haven't really been converting this gold mine, so maybe I should do so now that I think about it. Getting it up to 10 production development would be the most optimal small amount, because the chance of a gold mine depleting is based off of the production development that that province has. So now we have a 0.49% chance of the mine depleting each year, which is not that big of a chance, let's face it. Plus, if it happens, we can always Alt F4. I mean, computer might randomly crash, who's to say? Oh, this is not the moment for that to happen. Oh my god, we were at 40 mandate, which was manageable, but now it's really bad. So now we pretty much have to directly avoid engagements with the Chagatai horde. Point in case, we just got this army stack wiped, and the next one's gonna get stack wiped too unless we run away. And now the Oirats have attacked Chagatai with a Reconquest CB. This is turning into a real cluster schnitzel right now. Yep, this is literally jackalism happening in the Middle East. And I said Middle East, okay? Technically, this is the Middle East. I know everybody says this is the Middle East, and sure. But if you look at the map, this kind of would be the middle, and it's also in the east, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know. Holy mother of God. Again, man. I don't need this now. Please. The worst moment for that to happen. And it's kind of crazy to see how massive Chagatai actually managed to get. Wait a second. They changed their name back to Chagatai. Ooh, okay. So I guess that happens after they integrate the Archon, doesn't it? Now, seeing as we have managed to make Theravada basically the same like our own religion, we're going to use that to our advantage, and we're going to be converting the southern provinces to our culture, in essence wiping out any sort of dissent for the future. Okay, and I'm going to take my ugly ass borders here. So we're basically making them our tributary, taking 3 provinces too, and because they're a tributary and not a subject, it doesn't matter that they're at war with Oirats. So both of our tributaries are fighting each other. I couldn't give less of a schnitzel, because if we look at the diplomat mode, technically it doesn't matter who wins, they still are our tributaries. Wow, we lose 15 liberty desire just from bestowing a little bit of gift. Remember how I said that playing as Ming is just different from all the other nations? Well, this again plays into it. The tier 3 government reform, we're going to go for the representative of the crown, which means we get from tributary states an extra 1 monarch state power. Right now, that is a lot of them, and more to come. Just like more horrible events to come. The earthquake of 1482. Holy mother, another. Brother, I literally just got back up to 50 mandate. Why are you doing this to me? What is happening here? This is probably one of the most painful things I've had in a while. One of the most painful runs. Guess I'm gonna have to use my missions to make up for all the lost mandate. That's one way of doing it, at least. And we also want to spawn in Renaissance. So how are we doing that? Well, we're gonna have to just develop a province into freaking oblivion. I'm gonna develop Beijing, actually, surprisingly, right? Well, check it out. For just 1 dev click, we get 5.50 Renaissance in here. So just spamming the schnitzel out of this is actually going to give us Renaissance sooner than you would expect it. It is very expensive, to be fair, and I probably would end up getting a little bit more out of this if I was to do it in another province except Beijing. But I also kind of want to roleplay, and I want to see how much development I can get in Beijing till the end of the campaign, to be fair. So guys, remember how I said earlier that we're going to get a special CB? Well, we've just completed the humanist ideas, and aside from the minus 10% idea cost and yearly harmony increase, which means that we actually are doing pretty okay now with our harmony, which means we probably could start harmonizing the next religious group. But aside from that, it also means we have the special CB, external perfectionism. Now, this is not written anywhere, which is why it's a secret CB, but once you finish humanist or religious ideas, so this works both with religious or with humanist ideas, as long as you have the Confucian religion, and you can attack all the nations that are not Confucian. It's 75% aggressive expansion, 125 prestige, so it's literally the Deus Vult CB for Confucians. It is so freaking cool and so powerful, actually. Really underrated in my opinion, and also a reason why as Ming, if you like to, you can easily do a world conquest. Let's say you spend the first 100 years, maybe less even, finishing consolidating your nation, fixing the mandate, doing all that yada yada, right? But after, from the 1550s onwards, you literally can just expand continuously and conquer the whole world without issues, if that's what you want. I'm actually curious what you guys want me to do. Do you want me to do that in the second part of this, or do you want me to just continue playing tall and basically tributary all of Asia, or maybe all of the world? Let's see, because I'm kind of down for that too. I've got way too many world conquests already that I'm working on. Finally, we're also making gains with our our meritocracy. We had so many bad events that lowered this, and the harmony didn't help at all as well. All right, time to also get Renaissance spawned in here. Boom shakalaka, it's in Beijing, so now we can switch over and accept advancement efforts decree, which means it's going to start spreading around to all the other adjacent provinces, making it cheaper for us to embrace Renaissance. If you're new to EU4, you don't know what Renaissance is. It's one of the institutions. It is required in order to more cheaply embrace more technology. Right now it costs us 50% more to advance in technology because we haven't yet embraced Renaissance. It's like this with all institutions. You get a technology penalty until you have embraced that specific institution. And this is Paradox's way of ensuring that the world follows a more historical spread of technology, with certain institutions falling behind in certain parts of the world. So technically, if for Renaissance to reach us, we would have to wait until 1520s, 1530s. So we would fall behind when it comes to technology massively compared to the Europeans. But because we managed to spawn the particular institution by developing the province of Beijing, we circumvent that particular debuff that we have as Asian nations. Holy mother of freaking air. I just got a 546, man. We had 4 heirs that died, by the way. Not even kidding, from events. So sending for a trained medicus ain't the way, boys. It's just you gotta kill them all till you got a good one. Basically how this game works. It's time for the second idea set, and as I said earlier, exploration is what we're gonna go for here. We want to go for the new world, and the first step is to recruit explorers and conquistadors. We're gonna separate some of our ships here, get 3 juicy barks, assign an explorer, and it's time to see what's happening in the East China Sea. We also started harmonizing Vajrayanism, so going for religious harmonization speed is definitely the way. We should be able to finish this by 1511, which is a lot earlier. Alright, we just annexed Ladakh, which means that we have the vision that Ladakh had, because annexing a subject gives you their vision, which means we now see what's happening in the Middle East, the actual Middle East. Okay, fine, sure. And it seems like we have a Persia that's pretty massive. Zahedi, I don't even know which country became Persia then. Maybe Fars became Persia? I'm not sure. Afghanistan is pretty massive too. Transoxiana is getting eaten up. And we have Bukhara, so I'm guessing Uzbek or Kazan formed it. Probably Uzbek though. Mamluks is pretty massive, and they're basically getting a pretty decent hold over Arabia. They seem to have not gone to war with the Ottomans yet, which is kind of surprising. Ethiopia is consolidating, no surprise there. I think it's time for me to do a little bit of expansion as well. Maybe wait a little bit longer. I want to do one more celestial reform, and then after we can do a bit more expansion into the west, sorry, and get some more tributaries in here. Surprisingly, Fergana is also a thing, which is crazy. I don't think I've seen this nation pop up for like 2-3 years, maybe even more. Before we head on over to the new world, our first colonist is going to be in charge of colonizing the island of Taiwan. Whoa, what are you doing, step Chinese trooper? Stop it, step Chinese trooper. No, please. Whoa, unbelievable, step Chinese trooper. You said you're only going to come here to bring rice and German pickles. There's no German pickles here, are there? Now, obviously, I'm doing this because I would not like to have rebels pop up there when my units are not around, and then I have to lose my colonies for nothing. We're going to recall this bad boy, and we're going to send him to all 3 provinces. We have the financial means to colonize 3 provinces at the same time. Jesus Christ, man, another one. Guys, I swear to freaking God, I started counting like 30 minutes ago how many MDs I'm getting. I have 12 events that have lowered my meritocracy in just the last 30 minutes. It's crazy, dude. I cannot even get up to 15 meritocracy without having to lose some. It is insane in this game. Whoa, what? An actually positive event? Ain't no freaking ass way. Also, because that gives me 1 stability, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for another celestial reform. Let's say this one. So we can use the stability, go up to 1, and with this event, we can get it up to 2. Why the schnitzel not? That way we have an easier time getting back up to 50 mandate at least. Wait, what? I can diplomatically make Sir Hind a tributary. That is freaking crazy. Yes. Obviously, I'm going to do that. Sir Hind and Delhi. Oh my god, this is crazy good. All right, well, I'm going to take advantage of that, of course, and I'm going to see if I can maybe get more nations as a tributary diplomatically by improving relations so I don't actually have to attack them. They need to have a threatened attitude towards me. It's not that difficult to do, actually. Someone is disloyal now. Delhi is disloyal. Let's give them some gifts, and let's make them loyal by improving relations after. Meanwhile, our explorers are finding out what's happening in the Pacific. Oh no, Siberian tribes. Nobody knew these people existed. Oh my god, it's such a revelation. donation to us. 10 mandate for just 700 ducats. That's worth it. Even though we take another loan, it's still worth it. Oh wow, Hosokawa has definitely consolidated Japan. Looks like they only need to deal with Mori and Hojo, and then they've basically got all of the Japanese islands, don't they? That's pretty early too, 1500, holy schnitzel. Seems like I only have 5 development worth of Muslim provinces. I need 15 more development, so I guess I can expand a little bit more into the east to get that, because after I finish harmonizing Vajrayana, I'm gonna be harmonizing the Muslim group next, both because of the trade efficiency, but because there is a lot of Muslims in the Muslim group. It includes both Shia and Sunni, and of course Ibadi, if there are any left. Of course, I'm not sure if there are any left. All of those religions would be the same like our primary religion, with no penalties whatsoever. Repair the Great Wall. Yeah, sure. It's not like we needed more loans, but I guess we got more loans now. So we can do expand the Greater Frontier, which means we increased the level of the Great Wall again. So we have a level 3 Great Wall already. Holy schnitzel. Global modifier, garrison size, and attrition for enemies. Oh my god. Come at me, guys. Come siege me down right now. Oh, actually we can get an alliance with Persia. Okay, I'm down for that. Maybe we can do restore the Royal Road mission with that. They do have 200 development, I hope, right? Okay, so next up we can choose to promote Neo-Confucianism, and we get tolerance to heretics +2, or we just convert people. We're not going to convert anyone. We basically will not convert a single province till the end of the game. We're just going to harmonize everybody. So actually also doing that because I want to get the sweet harmony achievement in this run. We harmonize 7 religions for that, and I guess maybe I can make an exception and I can directly own the entirety of the British Isles in the 3rd part of the campaign, just so I get the Copium Wars achievement, as this is the last time I'll be playing as Ming, let's face it, in EU4 at least. You know, one thing that would really make Ming so much better? If you could become Defender of the Faith. For that matter, I really hope that in EU5 there are some types of Defender of the Faith mechanics added later down the line. I know it's probably not going to happen at the launch version of the game, I don't know, but I feel like Defender of the Faith mechanics, like they are in EU4, is what I'm trying to say, would be a really great idea in my opinion. Since we've done Form the Depots mission, we can choose between the Western and the Eastern Bureau. The Western one is not bad, but the Eastern one gives both meritocracy and a lot of mandates, so I'm gonna go for the Eastern one, obviously. Now, Outer City Beijing means until the end of the game, or better yet, until the province is sieged by an enemy army, we get fort level +2, and we could have potentially gotten +2 local goods produced, but I got lazy, okay? It's okay, don't worry about it. We just lost 10 production development, not the end of the world. Excuse me, what, Japan? Hello, sir. I don't know if you know this, but Manchuria is very much so off limits, so I'm gonna have to need you to step away from these lands. Okay, not sure what happened here, but Chahar is a thing now, so we're gonna be attacking them, because Chahar also has provinces that are a part of North Hebei, our primary state, and we want to get that. Hey, this is also the first time we're using our unique external perfectionism CB, the equivalent of Deus Vult, except better, because we can get it with harmony ideas too. Now, seeing as we're still chilling technically, I am going to do another reform. This time I'm going to go for the merchants and trade power, which is insane, because that means we're going to get another merchant to use in the Nippon trade, filter in as much as possible from there into our trades, which will filter into Beijing afterwards, so we can assign our fleet here to weaken Hosokawa as much as we possibly can. There we go, 40% of the trade in the Nippon node is heading towards us now. And I tried rushing for my ideas so I can get the policy, the native assimilation policy, which means I'm going to be able to colonize a little bit faster now too. It might not be European level, but 80 per year and 33% settler chance is better than nothing. Also, I've been waiting for my emperor to die. He's almost 80, dude. I want the 546 to rule, but I also don't want to lose the 50 prestige. This is just insane. How long is this man gonna live? Please, just put the pen down and go to sleep, Chihu. Freaking finally. And of course, we have an absolutely horrible heir that fell out the window. I'm sorry. I should have been more careful. Should not have let him on the 29th floor of Burj Al Khalifa. Of course, the next island we're going to be colonizing is going to be the Spice Islands. I'm actually going to colonize all of them at the same time just to make sure that nobody else goes clothes here. We want to get as much of those clothes as we can. Also, if we sell titles, we would be... Oh, actually, no. We just need to have less than one loan. Oh, God. Okay, so I guess we can sell titles. That way we do this mission, expand the Bogue, and we can pay off all of our loans, or most of our loans anyway. Now, for the next mission, we need to have 3 buildings, including a workshop, and expanded infrastructure in these highlighted provinces. So expanded infrastructure is not an issue. We have a lot of extra admin lying around now. We can do this boom and a boom in Nanjing as well. This province we do have to develop a little bit more beforehand, so we can do 1 2 3 boom, and now it's been expanded as well. So what we're missing now is Zhenyang and Suzhou. Have 3 buildings. Do we not have 3? We have no buildings here. Holy schnitzel. Okay, this one does have, it just needs to have expanded infrastructure. So just Zhenyang have a couple more buildings. Fair enough. I love the fact that Asians get their first fire unit and military tech 9 way before the Europeans. All right, so we can now do another reformation of the administration. Boom. So we lost 2 stability, but it is 100% worth it, because check it out, we're down to 15 minimum autonomy increase, and we can do it again. Actually, I just realized we do have the stability. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a freaking second. What do I need for this? Government reform. Oh, I don't have the government reform. Right. Wait, no, I should be able to get one. I should be literally getting one right next month. Actually, 2 months. Okay, fair enough. Until February 28. And we do another one? No. Unix loyalty is below 70, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, God. I could have gotten down to +5 minimum autonomy. Oh no, this is the worst. You know what? Might as well accept some cultures now, right? I guess I should have gone for the agenda of the eunuchs. That would have helped out a little bit more, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm basically murdering 4 or 5 birds with the same stone now, since we can attack Luwu at the same time here with the external perfectionism. Let's go, baby. Huzzah! We finished both of the Buddhist religions. So now Vajrayana, Theravada are as our primary religion, all accepted. That means we can basically convert these people to our culture if we like to, since the religion is not an issue anymore. But that being said, I'm actually going to do pagan next, because I don't really have much of a choice, because I don't have enough Muslim development. I will get it soon though, but I also want to do it because I'm going to have a lot of animists in the Pacific Islands. I've got some animists at home, and I'm going to have a lot of animists in the New World, which is something I'm going to be focusing on in the next few years as well. So Muslim group is going to be right after pagan group. I'm going to wait until we reach 50 harmony before I do harmonize the pagan group though. And of course, it's not an EU4 game without at least 2 PPs in the sky, is it now? I'm gonna leave it here for the first part of my main campaign. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like these in the future. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.